Portal season rolling right along here. We got some big names that are announcing they plan to enter. We got some big names that are finding a home. We'll talk about all that, but really quickly, make sure you're subscribed right here to the On the YouTube channel. We have 70% of our audience that is yet to be subscribed. We are throttling towards 200K subs. Would love to have you all a part of this. Thank you in advance for that. So the big news that broke over the weekend was Kyle McCord. Remember Kyle McCord, starting quarterback at Ohio State this past season. All he did was go 11-1 as a starter. He hit the portal on Portal Monday. He has found a home in Syracuse. Hey, y'all, don't look now, but the good folks in upstate New York with Fran Brown, they are cooking. Currently, at the time of us recording this, have a top 10 portal class. Fran Brown just landed his quarterback, who, like I just said, is a proven winner, and not just last season. My guy Kyle McCord has lost 3 games as a starter since the 7th grade. So you got someone to build around, bring in a quarterback from a big-time school like Ohio State. And I think if you're the quarterback at Ohio State, that in itself should speak volumes to the talent level he has. We had someone very close to the Ohio State program tell us that when C.J. Stroud was on campus there, Kyle McCord had the best arm. Not saying he was the best quarterback. Otherwise, he would have started over C.J. Stroud. But Kyle McCord headed to Syracuse. I think this is a huge get for the Orange, huge get for Fran Brown. Like I said, with him coming from the Kirby Smart tree, have to imagine he took a fair amount of notes in those meetings with Kirby Smart. Looks like at this point, they're crushing it on the portal, crushing it on the staff acquisition side of things. Again, Kyle McCord headed to Syracuse. Now, a big name that at the time of us recording this plans to enter the transfer portal is quarterback from USC, Malachi Nelson. Now, if that name sounds familiar, it's because he was a 5-star plus kind of player in the class of 2023. You would have to think the way that USC has been so clearly in the transfer portal quarterback market, trying to bring someone in and add them, sounds like either Malachi Nelson wants to play right now, or maybe Malachi Nelson isn't thrilled about the idea of, somebody else making him wait a little bit longer, or maybe USC just feels some type of way about their quarterback room. All that's to say, he has planned to enter, and this is a guy that is a big fish. We'll see who ends up being in the Malachi Nelson sweepstakes. That is extremely, extremely noteworthy that a 5-star plus kind of player from a season ago is now on the move. Ole Miss, man, we could do probably a whole segment. Actually, I'll rephrase that. We did a whole segment already on Ole Miss and what they've done through the portal. Pete Nakos, who crushes it for all things transfer portal, covering it here for us at On 3. Make sure you follow him. He's put a pick in for them to land the number 1 player in the country, defensive lineman from Texas A&M, Walter Nolan. And that would be another big add on the defensive line because they added Tyler Barron as well as Princely Umanmielen. So they're building the trenches there. We'll talk about that in a second. They also added Juice Wells, very proven commodity in the SEC from South Carolina, plays wide receiver. He blew up in 2022, a little bit dinged up in 2023. You bring him into that offense, I think you have more good times rolling in Oxford on the offensive side of the ball. Comes down to 2 things, 2 big notes for me when it comes to Ole Miss in the portal. 1, proof of concept. They've crushed it in the portal the last couple of years. Guys come into Oxford. They have immediate success. It's a good deal. Maybe I want to go to Oxford and kind of fill the shoes of the portal guys. If I'm a portal guy right now, I see what a guy like Trey Harris did if I'm Juice Wells. I see all the production he had. I want to go have that same kind of season in the Ole Miss offense. Second note, the way they're establishing the trenches, I will say it until I am blue in the face, just like Ole Miss's jerseys. The way they're stacking the trenches and the way they're going to be better up front is going to put them in that tier 1 in the SEC. It's going to give them the opportunity to, at least. Because the thing that's always separated Ole Miss from Bama and Georgia and LSU and next year Texas is the fact that those schools have had the big boys. Ole Miss has not. They allowed 4 yards of carry last season. Let me tell you this very clearly. In 2024, it will not be that way by nature of how they're working in the portal right now. And again, if they land Walter Nolan, that just further adds proof to that concept. Now, Georgia linebacker Jamon Dumas-Johnson, to the surprise of many, is in the transfer portal. And I want to make sure we say this. We talked about this in a previous segment. This is not a testament to Jamon Dumas-Johnson not being up to par at Georgia. He could have come back for another year, and he would have been able to get on the field and play. The thought behind this is Jamon Dumas-Johnson, having been injured a little bit this past season, kind of propped the door open just a little bit for some of those young linebackers and athletes to get on the field. And if you prop the door open most spots and you're a first-team All-American previously, like, you're going to have a chance to come back to your spot. But if you prop the door open at a place like Georgia, you might have some trouble getting back to the same kind of role you had. So all that's to say, with him going in and being a fourth-year guy, you would have to believe that the idea of splitting snaps with young bucks wouldn't be appealing. Again, Dumas-Johnson was a Butkus Award finalist a season ago. Dude can play some ball. Someone's going to land a baller in Dumas-Johnson, so keep an eye on him and where he ends up landing. Andrew Makuba is a safety that was at Clemson. He announced his commitment to the University of Texas. And Andrew Makuba is a guy that's played a lot of football, has 31 starts under his belt with 142 total tackles. Like I just said, he is no stranger to playing collegiate football. All right, he's going to be a guy that gets out there and is very comfortable right away playing at that speed that Texas wants to play at defensively. And I think the thing for me that sticks out with this is Texas's defense up front. They've been phenomenal. On the back end, there's been some areas of opportunity, like we like to say on this show. Not they're not bad, but they got some opportunity for growth. Adding a guy like Andrew Makuba with his skill set, with his range and what he brings at the safety position, as well as some versatility to play all over the field, he's a guy that's going to be a big add for that secondary as they move into the SEC. Got to have the freak shows on the back end in the SEC to compete with the freak shows on the perimeter offensively that you're going to be going against just about every single week. Last team I want to talk about here is Florida. They landed a couple of ballers via the portal on the defensive side of the ball. Defensive back Triquez Bridges from Oregon has 4 career interceptions, something like 91 total tackles, right around 6'3", 200. He played corner at Oregon. He's going to play safety at Florida. And then they also landed the number 2 defensive lineman in the transfer portal, Joey Slackman, out of the Ivy League coming from Penn. I keep hearing how Billy Napier is not the right guy, and this happened in 2023 and all these things. And I'm just like, all right, I hear that. But then you also tell me that it's a game of talent acquisition, and I look at these additions via the portal for Billy Napier, and then I look at what they've done with Graham Mertz via the portal and how they've developed him. Then I look at what they have on the recruiting trail. They have a top 5 class at the time of us recording this right now. So I keep hearing Billy Napier's not the right guy, and then I keep seeing all the talent that he's bringing in. So I understand it's going to happen on the field. We're going to get to see it all play out, but I keep hearing Billy Napier's not the right guy, and then I keep seeing things on the talent acquisition side of things that would make me believe otherwise. So I'm not telling you that either one of these guys is going to win the Heisman Trophy or be first-round picks. I'm just saying they're making some moves in Gainesville. Those are 2 big additions, especially Joey Slackman, again, the number 2 defensive lineman through the portal, making his way to Gainesville. So keep it locked right here. Make sure you're subscribed. Follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at JD Pickell. I want to hear from y'all. What are the portal ads that you're most excited about for your team? Or maybe the guys that are jumping into the portal that you're most curious about. Malachi Nelson, I'm watching him very, very closely, as well as I am Dumas-Johnson. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Going to keep this party rolling, and we will see y'all next time. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.